Get over here, the FS1 instigator, who's got, I think we may have finally found common ground on one thing.
Uh-oh. Me and you, finally, we have something? What is that?
Self-awareness is a beautiful thing, and Carmelo doesn't have it, and he never has. This is why he's underachieved. It's not gonna work in Houston, right? Right?
Houston, we have a problem. I mean, why in the world are they bringing Carmelo to this? It didn't work in OKC. We just saw this movie, didn't we?
Yes.
We just saw it's not going to work.
Ball-centric guard.
Yes.
Melo comes over and pouts.
Right. It's not going to work. He doesn't want to be a spot-up three-point shooter, which is what he was relegated to. I get it. Guys, when you're a big star, you don't want to feel like, okay, they want me off the bench or whatever, but sometimes you have to make that adjustment. To this day, I always believe that Allen Iverson could have played 5 or 6 more years in the NBA
if he was
willing to come off the bench, be that guy, be the dominant guy with the second unit where you get to score and put up the shots. It could help the team win.
Yeah, I mean, this has always been my thing on Carmelo. In the history of the NBA, your great players are not only talented, they're get-it guys. D-Wade gets it. Bird got it. Magic got it. West got it. LeBron gets it. Duncan gets it. Duncan took less money. LeBron, Michael Jordan for a long time wasn't the highest paid guy.
David Stern made more money than Michael Jordan.
Yes, you got to get it. And Ray Allen gets it. And Kevin Garnett gets it. Carmelo's talented. He's a doesn't-get-it guy. He just has this wall. Derrick Rose, by the way, to me, was always a doesn't-get-it guy.
Didn't Mike D'Antoni quit the Knicks because of Carmelo Anthony?
Mike D'Antoni makes every player in the NBA better offensively. Carmelo's an offensive guy, and Carmelo ran him out of town.
Yes.
I mean, literally, D'Antoni goes to Phoenix. Steve Nash is the MVP.
Twice.
He goes to Houston, and Harden's the MVP. He goes to New York. Carmelo's like, I don't work. He's the league's best offense. In fact, D'Antoni's, the biggest knock on him is he doesn't care if you play defense. And that's Carmelo.
Yes. And this is why I think this is going to actually drop Houston. Houston had the best record and led the West and had home court and all that. I think they're going to be third. I got OKC actually jumping up above them when you look out West. I think that this is going to hurt them. They don't need Carmelo Anthony. I don't understand why they're making this move. Is it just to add a name because they like the idea of having another name guy?
Addition by subtraction. I actually think, to your point, Oklahoma City will be better this year without Carmelo. I absolutely believe that.
I do too.
I don't think they'll be 12 wins better, but I think they'll have less chaos, more fluidity, Paul George, Westbrook. I actually think this year, without Melo, Oklahoma City goes into the playoffs and wins a playoff round or maybe 2.
But the flip side for Houston is the same problem that happened in OKC. You remember last year they couldn't win. They had those 3 guys.
People forget this.
They couldn't win. They struggled.
And Paul George kind of worked.
It did work.
It wasn't a disaster. Paul's numbers came down a little. Melo's the guy that didn't work. He won't play with other stars.
And that's why I think Houston is making a big mistake here. I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. It's not what they need. They'd be better off. They lost defensive players, right?
Good ones.
Ariza, guys who made a difference. And to add Carmelo makes no sense. I think this is where you're just starstruck and you're not looking at your real team needs.
Okay, I got a basketball question before the NFL. Kevin Durant, Joy and I are kind of rolling our eyes. Generally in life, we're all insecure in our teens and our 20s. We're all insecure. Girls won't pay attention to us.
Absolutely.
We're all insecure. But then once you start...
You said girls won't pay attention. What about in your 50s? Does that count too?
Well, I mean, as you get older, you should be... They say you get a little happier. But generally the way it works for pro athletes is, they start collecting paychecks, rings, accomplishments. They get more secure. They don't care about... Kobe's not getting in Twitter wars with random dudes. The only exception in any major sport is Kevin Durant. He's the world's most sensitive guy. I get it when he broke into the league and Westbrook's better than you, dude. Harden's better than you. I get it. You're now the second best player in the NBA for 8 years. Why is he so sensitive?
It makes no sense. And you just said it. The guy's won 2 championships, 2 MVPs in the finals. And instead of people thinking of him as the second best player in the league, he is officially the M.S.O.A.T.
What's that?
the most sensitive of all time. So he's the M.S.O.A.T. Because he is that guy, Colin. He's got a burner phone. Who has a burner phone who has 2 MVPs in the NBA Finals? Who cares if Johnny in his basement eating French fries and drinking a Dr. Pepper doesn't like you or says something that you got to respond back to him? Kevin Durant should be in Europe on vacation, somebody feeding him grapes. That's what he should be doing. What kind of life are you living where you're worried about the fans and what they're saying, or the sports writers? The story you said about the Oklahoman recanting and taking back a headline is ridiculous. What? Are you kidding me?
A small town local headline. They had to retract it. He was so mad about that. It's like, Kevin,
are you? I mean,
you're the number 2. You were the number 2 basketball player on the planet. How many people on the planet? 7 billion. You were the number 2 player, and if it wasn't for maybe the best player ever, you'd be the best player in the world.
There's no way I could have worked in the town where he played. Some of the columns I've written, I'm serious, Colin. If I went back and gave you some of the stuff that I've written, you wouldn't believe it.
All right, just stay here. I started my show saying today, I'm watching yesterday. In the last 24 hours, LeBron's got this HBO thing, and I mean, it's already rolling. He has a TV movie production deal now. It's already in the works. So he's been in LA 27 days, of which 10 he was in Europe. So 16 days he's been in LA, and he's got a TV show humming. He's got a movie deal. He's had a pizza promotion and dinner with Hollywood stars. And my theory is, Rob, Peter Vesey said a year ago. Peter Vesey was Woj before Woj. Then he retired.
No doubt about it.
He said a year ago, LeBron's a Laker. It's a done deal. You know what? Magic didn't meet LeBron to pitch him. It was a strategy meeting. It was done. Magic was telling people in town like Jerry West, we got him. Peter Vesey came out. This thing, you cannot get this much done in L.A. in 16 days of work. Have TV deals, movie deals. I think it was done a year ago.
Absolutely. Vesey was that guy, and he used to break all the stories in the early days of the NBA, in the 80s and whatnot.
He was the story breaker of the league for 20 years.
Absolutely. So when I saw that, and as definitive as Peter was, I believed it. I said, you don't go that strong being a newspaper guy for as long as he was and put that out there without feeling really confident. So I think you're right. But if I'm a Laker fan, the problem I have with this and all the other stuff he's doing is that this signifies to me that LeBron is out of the championship business. He wants to be Meryl Streep. That's what he wants to be. He wants to be like a movie star and what is it? Bill Todman, and doing the TV shows and all those the production company used to do all that stuff. He wants to be involved in all this other stuff. I'm a little concerned if I'm a Laker fan, if he's serious about winning, because LeBron never goes to a situation where the deck's not stacked for him. So for him to come to L.A. and make that commitment without knowing where the other shoe is going to drop and whether or not it is even going to drop, there's no guarantee that you're getting that second guy. The one thing, Colin, we got to be honest with, no one has ever come to play with LeBron. Ever. He could not get anyone in Cleveland to come play with him, right? He's the greatest player on the planet. He never got anybody to come. He had to go to Dwayne Wade's team, right? Kyrie walked away from him. And then you have Paul George had a chance to come back home to L.A. LeBron's here. Hey, they're going to, set the world on fire and knock out the Warriors. He wants no part of it. Why does no one want to play with LeBron? Think about it.
It's interesting.
Didn't Chris Bosh come to Miami?
No, didn't they kind of agree?
No, but he wouldn't go to Cleveland is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, okay. You're right, Chris Bosh.
Think about it.
So it's Cleveland's fault?
But no, that's not. That's LeBron is there. That should wipe away Cleveland. It's about LeBron. No. Why don't other great players want to play with him?
Because they're not smart enough to realize they'll win a bunch of rings.
No, they realize that it's all about LeBron. And it's always going to be, if things go right, LeBron gets all the credit. Things go bad, it's because he doesn't have anybody.
Man, it's interesting, Joy. It's kind of interesting.
No.
Joy, what are you saying? Yes, Joy.
I mean, no. Chris Bosh came to Miami.
No, Chris Bosh, he came to Miami, but he didn't come. I'm telling you, nobody comes to. LeBron could have stayed in Cleveland and done the same exact thing. thing and said, hey, let's form a team here. Don't tell me about
Chris
the weather
Bosh,
and
Chris
playing
Bosh
in Cleveland.
preferred to live in South Beach over Cleveland, which is
People won
completely understandable.
championships in Green Bay and all these other god-awful places. So you're only there for 6 months. You're only there. You only play 40 home games. You can live wherever you want. It's just an occupation. It's where you work. Do your business.
Right.
If I'm about LeBron and he's that guy, I want to join up with him. Nobody wants to join up with him.
3 minutes left. Jimmy Garoppolo with a porn star. I hated it. Joy said, Johnny Manziel said, a lot of people said, Sean Merriman told me yesterday on the show, he thinks Garoppolo, this is who he dates regularly, adult film stars. What do you make of it?
If I'm the 49ers, you got to say, maybe we made a mistake. Because it's the lack of judgment. You could date whoever you want. There's something that doesn't look right when the face of your franchise is out with a big-breasted porn star in the middle of a Beverly Hills restaurant. It just doesn't look right, and you're just going to start to question what else is going on in this guy's life. That's all.
Yeah, I mean,
that doesn't mean he can't play football.
She was wearing a very provocative outfit. Beverly Hills, paparazzi. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.